Folks, I'm just sitting out here watching the stars. Chair set up. Let's have a little chat. Hey folks, how's everybody doing? I don't know, it's about 9 or 10 o'clock, somewhere in there. Day one of a little camping trip here. What a beautiful day. What an absolutely just beautiful day. Now, I know the lighting's not perfect, but you know, I'm just sitting here chilling by the fire, and you really couldn't see me, so I just took my little lighter, you know, bought all those lighters. It's got a flashlight on it, so that's the light you're seeing. The big camera doesn't have a light on it. So, hey, life ain't perfect, right? But I hope you can hear me okay. Got the waves in the background. So, and you know, when you have the little screen flipped out, you're always looking at yourself. So I'm just gonna turn that screen around where I can talk to you guys. Good things come to those who wait. Sometimes that applies, sometimes it doesn't. But for us on this camping trip, it certainly applied. Had we stepped out on the first planned trip, we would have got rained on hard. Same with the second. I don't know how many times we've scrubbed this trip, but all the stars aligned for us. We've had beautiful weather, you know, a little bit cloudy overhead, so it's not balls hot. I mean, other than when I was working that damn bow drill trying to get that fire started. No sweating, no sweating, and just great weather for camping. It's nice and cool right now. It's probably like 70, 72 degrees right now. And right now, I'm sitting by the fire, but I'm not getting eaten up by bugs or anything like that. Now, they did say there's a ton of bullfrogs, a ton of frogs over there. I haven't seen them, but they said there's a bunch of frogs. I got a fishing line in the water, and I got one of those. I put one of those crabs on there. Eric caught one of those crabs, and we beat them out of the shell and got them on the hook because we forgot to bring bait. We forgot to get some shrimp for bait. I forgot to bring the bottle of very old Captain, and there was one more thing that we forgot, and I forgot what I forgot. But for the most part, we've got all our gear. So this morning, we got here, you know, the boat ride over was just like glass. Wonderful boat ride. And we went to setting up this tent, this brand new tent that I bought. Now, folks, in the States, I don't know how much these things would be in the States. Obviously, this is straight out of China, our tent. I don't know if they knocked off somebody else's design and this is a popular brand. I don't know. But it was only like, I don't know, 120 bucks, $130. You know, and I say only if you're going to use a piece of gear over and over and over. You know, 120, 130 bucks is not too much to invest in a tent like that. So totally different dynamic than sleeping in the small tent that we have. This thing's got 2 bedrooms. You can stand up inside. The whole roof is nothing but mesh. And obviously, if the rain comes, I got to jump out and get that rain fly on there, or we're gonna get soaked. But the rain flies seem to be pretty sturdy. So I got. So far, I'm digging this tent. The only thing I didn't dig, the directions came in Chinese, and the pictures, they weren't good enough to tell you which poles go where. So it was trial and error. We figured it out, and now that we've figured it out, the next time it'll be easy to put it up. But great tent, 2 bedrooms. So I brought 4 military cots, well, the military style cots. I bought 4 cots, but there's only room for 2 back there in the bedroom. So I've got 2 set up. Little Force G's back there sleeping. I think his mother's in there sleeping now because I haven't heard her in a while. So they seem to be back there sleeping. on times like this, when I go camping, once everybody gets settled down, I like to sit out by the fire. And when the fire burns out, or if I let it burn out, I just like to look up at the stars and ponder the mysteries of life. Because, you know, life in these times, it creates so much unnecessary stress, unnecessary worry, when you got to realize that we're all going to die. We're all going to die at some point. Nobody's immortal. Now, maybe sometime science figures out a way to make our lifespans longer, but if you get hit by a fucking jeepney crossing the street, it don't matter what it don't matter, you know, how long you were gonna live, because you're dead right there. What we used to call DRT. It's funny, I can still remember that stuff like that, you know, from back in my 20s. I worked on the ambulance. DRT, dead right there. DFO, done fell out. Like, what happened to that? What happened to your patient? Oh, they just faint. You don't say, oh, they fainted. No, they DFO, done fell out. Anyhow, but when you sit here and you stare up at the sky, now right now I can't see shit because I got this lighter. I have the little light on my lighter illuminating me so you can see me. But you look up at all these stars, and you realize that every one of those stars is a sun, and there are planets orbiting that star. And you look up and you see all these stars. And what's the estimate of how many stars there are? Nobody knows. It's billions. Which means there are tens or hundreds of billions of planets. And for anybody to think that we're the only life in the universe is just, it's astronomical to think like that. The odds, there are no odds. You mean to tell me in this whole fucking wide world, this whole universe, we're the only life forms, the only intelligent life? All you gotta do is just go camping, shut down all your light sources, let your eyes adjust, and just lay on the ground and stare up at the stars. And somewhere, many places, not just one, many places, many of those places that you look up and you see those stars, there are planets, and there's life on those planets. If you believe otherwise, that's fine. But I think that's pretty arrogant, right? To think that we're the only people here. It's kind of like the old joke, you know. Somebody's giving somebody a tour of heaven, and they're like, you know, there's the Catholics over there, there's the Muslims over there, and then shh, there's the Baptists over there. Don't make too much noise because they think they're the only ones up here. So anyhow, already saw one shooting star. Now, I've got mountains over here to my left, so actually looking in the direction of China, I can't see that direction because of the mountains. I can see, you know, toward the South China Sea. So I'm going to sit here and just enjoy the view, enjoy this campfire, this bonfire. I gotta go over there and adjust it. The thing wasn't catching on. I was trying to start a fire with a bow drill earlier, and it was taking me a while to get in the flow, but once I got in the flow, I wasn't having any luck. And folks, every time you try to start a friction fire, it's just different, you know what I mean? So the tinder that I had, we used it for this fire, and it wouldn't even light with the lighter. So I had no chance getting that fire started. I thought the shit was dry, it looked great, but it wouldn't even start with a damn lighter. So I'm gonna try again tomorrow. I'll just have to find the right combination of wood I'll get it going. But man, this fire was so hard to start because we had all this, what we thought was dry, good, you know, should have went up in flames. No. My man had to go in there and steal a cardboard box from the kitchen to get this fire going. So I'm not about to let it go out. I'm going to take a break in a second and go fire it back up. But that's what I'm doing. Just figured I'd just have a little talk, you know. And it's like, you know, what I was telling Eric. He's like, man, I might go ahead and hit the sack. And I said, man, I'm just going to sit here, look up at these stars, and ponder the mysteries of life. And there's so many mysteries. Oh, I know what I was going to talk about. You know, every time that I've embarked on an adventure or a flight or a trip, or, you know, whether it's going somewhere for the day or going somewhere for a month, whether it's, you know, going out of state or going out of your home country, it's like, I guess, it's human nature. We come up with so many reasons why we can't go do something like that. Oh, I gotta do this for work, or I gotta mow the grass, I gotta do this. You gotta do that. And you talk yourself out of going on that trip. Now, we're creatures of habit as humans, right? So packing up and going camping, it requires some effort, some planning, some preparation. There were some other folks that we know that expressed some interest in coming camping with us, but when it comes down to the nut cutting, they're not going to come because it takes too much effort to put it together. And I understand it. You know, if you've got stuff going on, you know, business-wise, hey, you got to make your paper before you go play. You work, then you play. I understand it. But for a lot of people, they just use that as an excuse why they don't go. And we've talked about this for years. Me and the J-Dog and Pablo Escobar. We would sit there and talk about a trip. Why somebody couldn't go because they had this, you know. And it would only take one person to book a flight. You know, and usually, like, we'd be on a three-way call talking about, hey man, let's go to Thailand, let's go to PI, where are we gonna go? Oh, I can't, I got this. And then one of us would roger up. One of us would grab a set of balls, book a flight, and just email it to the other two. You know? And once that first man booked that flight, that was it. He was going. So if you didn't want to just hear about the good times, you better book your flight too, and then figure everything else out, how you're going to work it out where you can make that flight. And that's what we would do. You know, sometimes, I mean, you know, every one of us was the instigator at some point, you know. But we would make it happen. Maybe you had to call in sick, maybe you had to shuffle some appointments around, piss off your dentist, piss off a doctor because you didn't make a doctor appointment, whatever you had to do, but we went on the trip. As soon as that first man booked that flight, hey, everybody went, right, for the most part. And then so all those trips I remember very vividly. But in between those trips, what could I tell you about everyday life? I can't remember anything I was doing. You know, if I said, hey, what'd you do 3 weeks ago? You probably can't remember, because I can't remember. But if you want to say, hey man, you know, name some memorable things in the past 2 months, I can tell you, hey, went camping at Ceylon Inn. We went camping twice. Hell, last week we went on a little adventure up to a sunken church, up to Lake Mappinwepi. Great trip. We, what else did we do? Took a day trip to Pandering. Great food up there at the car wash. My God, it was delicious food. But if you ask me the other days what I did, you know, there's those regular days, I can't remember that. I don't know. I guess the reason I'm talking about this, you know, we don't have a lot of time. Nobody has a lot of time. If you're lucky, you live to be 100 years old. Most people don't live to be 100 years old. We don't, you know. I had a buddy died at 37, one at 55, and one at 49. And I'm a pirate looking at 50. So, these days, as I age, as I get older, I am quicker to pull the trigger on taking these trips, taking my son camping, and everything else will wait. It usually does. You know, it's not my life is going to fall apart because I went on a 3-day camping trip and I come back and, you know, got to tighten a few things up. So there's less and less thought put into whether or not I'm going. The answer is, yeah, I'm going. I just got to get ready. Get ready, I'm going. And my son, hopefully, I mean, you know, I think he'll start having memories of trips like this. I mean, I have memories back when I was 2 years old, you know, very vividly. So maybe he'll start having these memories long term on these trips. And if my ass kicks out, takes a dirt nap anytime soon, you know, I want him to have as many memories hanging out with me as he possibly can. So that's it. You know, the older I get, the quicker I am to pull the trigger and go off and do something like this. Now, why am I talking about this? Hell, I don't know. But maybe I'm just trying to inspire somebody to say, hey, you know what? You know, what do I do with my kids every day? Not much, same routine, whatever. But this Saturday, you know, I'm gonna pack them little rugrats up in the car, and we're gonna go camping for the night, or we're gonna take an overnight trip and go to the beach, or we're gonna take a day trip, whatever's in your scope, financially and time-wise, but do something. You know, if you mow the grass every Saturday, fuck that grass. I don't give a damn about no grass. I will never mow another blade of fucking grass as long as I live. So do you think I'm gonna let mowing the grass stop me from going on a trip with my kids? Never. I don't give a damn about a blade of grass. I don't give a damn about the homeowners association. I don't give a shit about yard of the month. I don't care about nothing about all that. Never will. So if you're using that excuse why you don't, you know, go out and make some memories, you know, memorable events that your kids are going to remember, or your wife, whatever, you know, if you don't have kids, if you don't got wife and the kids, maybe you got a dog, you know, go do something. Or you can just sit there and continue with your daily routine, because that's the safe and easy thing to do. Now look, I'm not telling you to go to spend money if you don't have it, but loading everybody up in the car with a barbecue grill and some hamburgers, that don't cost a lot of money. You know, go out to the lake or to the park and barbecue. So anyhow, just remember, life is short. It really is. And yes, you have to plan for tomorrow. That's obvious. You have to plan for tomorrow. But you got to live today. Because there's no guarantee you're going to get tomorrow. Alright? When you're dead, that's it. No coming back. There's no hitting the reset. There's no do-over. But that's it. You're done. And life goes on without you. It's just the people that were in your life, they have memories of you. And it's sort of like, how do you want to be remembered? You know, how do you want to be remembered? You know, you want your kids to have like these memories of, oh man, my dad took me camping and fishing, and we went here and went to the beach. My dad was always doing things with me like that. Or do you want your kids to remember that, you know, you worked 60 hours a week and fucked around with the grass all day Saturday and watch football on Sunday? That's another thing I don't give a damn about. Fucking football. Don't care. Baseball. Don't care. I don't watch any sports. Basketball, damn sure don't watch no basketball. And look, I know a bunch of y'all are sports fans. I ain't got no time for that shit. You know, and apparently the professional sports in America have become so politicized that it's not even, you don't even go to enjoy the sports anymore. You're just fucking arguing about the politics of it. Yeah. So anyhow, so I'm glad we're here. Beautiful damn weather. My gosh, it's beautiful weather. I could live here. I could live here, and the crazy thing is that when I say I could live here, I could live here. I mean, I cut a deal with the landlord here to just leave my tent. You know, I'm gonna live out of my tent. I could live here. I got cell phone service. Now, it would take forever to upload a 4K video. I'd have to run into town somehow to do my uploads once or twice a week. But I could literally live here. I could. Now, if there was no cell service, I couldn't do it because you know, you gotta stay up on some things. But I got cell service. We got solar lighting going on. It's quiet over here. Beautiful scenery. And we got fresh water from the river. As long as you got fresh water, you're good. You don't need electricity. I got enough solar panels to charge my camera equipment. I'm good to go. I could literally move over here and live in that tent. And I'm crazy enough that I might do it. Or at least take some extended trips over here. How can you not love it? So anyhow, enough about that, folks. I just thought I'd talk to this camera and talk to you guys. You know, part of talking to you guys and gals is therapeutic. And I say talking to the camera, but even though I'm looking at this camera right now, I'm talking to you. I don't know how else to describe it. I know I'm talking to you. I can like envision you sitting in your living room with this video up on the big old 65-inch TV, or you're down in your man cave drinking a beer, listening to my voice. I envision all that. And it's therapeutic to me, even though this is like a one-sided conversation. So, anyhow, folks. Life is good. Life is just wonderful. You know, if I had my little girl here, my life would be damn near perfect. That's another story in itself, but at least I got my son. He seemed to have a good time today. Played in the water, ran around, played in his little hot tub up there. And now he's just racked out, sleeping good, nice and cool. But folks, thanks for joining me. I don't know if I'll just make this one video, and maybe this is boring as hell for some, but that's the joy of YouTube. You can hit the pause button, or you can click another link, watch another video. The ball's in your court. But if you're watching and listening to my voice, I certainly appreciate it. If you're not a subscriber, hey, you know what to do. Yo, Adrian. It's me, Rocky. Folks, I can see the lights of a long ago. And the lights over there at the port, it's beautiful. You look over there, you see the lights of the city. Then you look this way, you just see a few lights from some boats. Here on the beach, we got solar lights. Yeah, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 4 or 5 street lights that run off of solar. We got them on, big tall poles. So I don't want to say the beach is well lit, but it's lit up enough so you can operate at night. So if you're anywhere within striking distance of my voice, whether you're Angeles City or Barrio Barreto, Subic, or Longapro, I think this is the most peaceful place on Subic Bay right here. No, nobody's paying me to say that. I don't get a commission. I just tell you what I think. And Eric brought up a good point. He said, well, there's probably several more of these little beaches. We just ain't been to them. But what you can't beat about coming here is that we have a fresh water source. So you can take a shower, get refreshed every day, wash the salt water off of you. And that's priceless. Okay. Huge. I would rather have access to water, obviously, than electricity. I don't care about the electricity. It's even better that we don't have it here. So folks, I gotta go tend to my fire. I want to thank you for listening. And I hope you have a great day, and I hope you get out and enjoy the great outdoors. Whether it's a day trip or a weekend camping trip. And make sure you watch tomorrow's video. I think I'm going to go hiking up that hill there. Go up to those pine trees up on the ridge line. Because I really want to know what the view looks like on the other side of the mountain. I obviously can't see over there. Now, he sent a drone up today, so I could probably look at the video and see. But I want to climb this mountain and look over to the far side with my own eyes. Okay, folks, well, have a good night. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and peace out.